In the last video, we discussed how BPM and tempo can change the feeling of the song and has to do with speed. We can break down and dive in even deeper into what BPM and tempo means by looking at the individual measures or bars. The measures or bars are how we group pieces of time together inside of a song. Usually, these are through rhythm notes such as quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, 16th notes, and different types of notes we'll use that break the bar into individual sections. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a closer look at this. So you can see in Logic, I have my session pulled up. I created kind of a blank MIDI template here just to show what these notes would look like as MIDI information. So you can see on the top here, there's a ruler or some kind of measurement to show inside of Logic, and it's also like this in other programs where it'll show the length of that particular bar. So for example, you can see here I'm at 1 and it stretches to 2, meaning right now this is a 1 bar MIDI region or MIDI clip. In this MIDI clip, you can see I drew in a couple different notes here to show how these notes work in association with time. For example, you can see this purple one here. It's the length of the entire bar. We call this a whole note. It's being held for all 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. Above that, you can see I broke this into that whole note into 4 different parts, or 4 blue squares here, and these 4 squares represent our quarter notes. They're the foundation of 4/4 time, the individual beats of a bar or measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Above that, you can see the green here. The green is breaking down those quarter notes even further. All right, as you can see, we have 2 of these per quarter notes, or 8 per whole note. These are also referred to as eighth notes. We're breaking our bar into eighths. Above that, the lighter green is 16th notes. We have 16 of these per bar. They're much faster. You can see here, this is an order of hierarchy for speed and how they sound and the feeling they'll create inside of the bar. Let's listen to some of these in action. So I have a basic drum loop here. And right now, I just have a couple quarter notes and some eighth notes drawn in here, and we're going to add in more as we go. So let's hear what it sounds like. So right now, it's just a 1 bar or 1 measure loop. So as you can see, I have my quarter notes here with the MIDI information or the MIDI squares drawn on each individual beat. I have beat 1, beat 2 marked by 1.2, beat 3 marked by 1.3, and beat 4 marked by 1.4. I also have a couple other notes that kind of fall in the middle. Those are eighth notes. So commonly referred to in house music as boots and pants. That's the upbeat. So if we listen to this, it sounds like this. And our upbeat is 1 and 2 and. The and is our eighth note. Every time we say a beat, that's a quarter note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Quarter, eighth. Right? Quarter, eighth, 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 quarter, eighth. Pretty quick. Depending on the speed or the tempo of our song, it can determine how it sounds, and it'll change. Now, if you notice on the end here, I have a couple other notes. This time, I have 3 toms here, and if I were to add in a 4th, just by clicking on here, we would now have our 16th notes, or 4 notes per quarter note, right at the end. And you can see, here's my quarter note marked by this grid mark, and then we have our 4 toms coming down, marking our 16th notes, or our syncopated notes. The syncopated notes are very important, especially in popular music. They're what give the feeling of groove or danciness. So let's hear what it sounds like. So you can see it kind of gives a little groove, a little feeling. If I were to add in some other notes here in the 16th note slots, you can see quite the difference. So let's do that. Kind of gives us a feeling of swing. So as you can see, where you place each individual note is really important. Whether we use a quarter note, a half note, an eighth note, or a 16th note can drastically change the feeling of our song and give our song a particular emotional overtone.